Man, oh man, we have so many Vancouver Canucks trade rumors to dive into. A lot of juicy info coming from the likes of Elliotte Friedman, as well as Michael Russo over in Minnesota. But before we dive into all of that, and before we dive into the Pittsburgh Penguins, we have to actually talk about what really happened with the Vancouver Canucks organization this morning. Because yes, even though there are trade rumors and even though there are trade updates, we actually did see ourselves some updates from the Vancouver Canucks. Take a look at this. Patrick Allvin announced today that defenseman Jet Wu has been placed on waivers for the purpose of assignment to Abbotsford. And I'm sure a lot of y'all looking at this were thinking, wait a minute, what? Jet Wu was on the team? Yeah, that's true. Jet Wu was a member of the Vancouver Canucks technically this entire time whilst rehabbing from injury, so he'll be going down there to the AHL to start his season. It's the beginning of December. The guy hasn't played a game since the Abbotsford Canucks playoff run, so it'll be really good for him to get his feet back under him. Of course, Jet Wu was a prospect taken by Vancouver all the way back in 2018, 37th overall pick in the second round. Maybe he hasn't really fully taken advantage of the skills that made people think that he'd be a top 6 NHL defenseman, but hey, Jet Wu exists. He is in the organization. Nice to see him getting that opportunity. I doubt he gets claimed. He hasn't played a game all year. But with that out of the way, let's go out there and talk about the actual update here. This is what Elliotte Friedman went out there and said earlier this morning on the Fan Hockey Show. You know what? You love it. It's Monday, folks, which is why we're going out there and seeing all the insiders actually posting content and talking about stuff now. Elliotte Friedman said he thinks the Pittsburgh Penguins have the pieces to make a Quinn Hughes deal work. He also adds that he has no idea if Quinn would want to go there. Ugh, talk about Pandora's box, eh? Elliotte Friedman adding another team into the mix of the Quinn Hughes trade conversations. Is Pittsburgh stepping in here just because they don't want to go out there and give Philadelphia the opportunity to acquire Quinn Hughes and potentially flip him? We made a video about that a few hours ago. Oh yeah, Philadelphia's trade plan revealed they want to get Quinn Hughes, and even if they don't extend him, they can flip him like the guys who go over to the Goodwill bins, buy low and sell high on merchandise and overprice it on eBay. But either way, this is a super interesting idea. Pittsburgh Penguins, baby. Let's see Sidney Crosby back in Vancouver. Okay, no, he's like in his late 30s. There's no way that would actually work out. As much as Rutherford and Allvin probably adore Sidney Crosby, and as much as they have respect for Crosby, Letang, Malkin, all the guys that they ended up winning multiple Stanley Cups with, this is probably not going to go down that way. It's not going to be Quinn Hughes for a bunch of aging veterans. There would have to be the young pieces. And I'd say that over the past few years, the Pittsburgh Penguins have really started to gather around more of these prospects. No longer are they trying to go out there and contend every single year. This is one of the strengths of Kyle Dubas as well. You think about just what he did with the Toronto Maple Leafs when he took over. He was able to acquire draft picks to the moon and back. And you just look at the amount of names that Pittsburgh is drafting these days. I mean, that's a really deep draft. How many guys did they take in this most recent selection? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, the Penguins had 13 draft picks in the 2025 NHL Draft. It wasn't always like that. You can definitely see Kyle Dubas' vision coming over into the most recent season here. But just thinking about some of the guys that the Pittsburgh Penguins have taken that have looked very good, Joel Blomqvist is a guy that I think Vancouver supposedly had their minds on, but weren't able to take. Tristan Bras is a guy who actually did play on NHL games, so good for him. Zam Plant is one of the top scorers in the NCAA this season. Braden Yeager had some potential in the WHL. Harrison Brunecki, ended up playing a cup of coffee with the National Hockey League team as well. And then you have Ben Kindel, who actually has been an NHL player this year. He's got 10 points in 24 games, so he did that straight out of the draft. Drafted 11th overall and then given top power play time when some of the injuries hit the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kindel has been a very interesting acquisition for this Penguins squad. Plus, all the other guys over here, too. I just want to check out Ryan Miller, because Ryan Miller has a very cool name. Yeah, he's doing pretty well this season, 18-year-old out of Medicine Hat. And then I also wanted to take a look at Cale Dach. Is he the brother of Kirby Dach and Colton Dach? Let's just go out there and check out elite prospects. I feel like they're a little bit better when it comes to getting that kind of stuff down. But Cale Dach, is he a brother? No, he is not. He is just a guy. Okay, that's pretty interesting. 18-year-old for the Calgary Hitmen, drafted by Pittsburgh. He is on pace for over a point per game this season as well. With that in mind, let's go back over to the tweet and just dive into what some folks are saying in the replies. Pittsburgh Penguins apparently have the pieces to make a Quinn Hughes deal. What does it matter? He has zero trade protection. Quinn is doing what's best for him. It's time the Canucks did what's best for them. At this point, Elliotte is just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what'll stick. Every team wants Hughes. Every team has pieces. The joys of being a hockey insider, you could say this exact statement for all 31 teams around the league and get their fan base excited. Okay, I get it. It's kind of cynical to go out there and call it out. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but who really knows? Let's go out there and take a look at some of these replies, shall we? Rutsberg goes out there and says, you'd have to include Pickering, Zanin, 2026 first, and Ville Koivunen. Too pricey for the Penguins. That's not nearly enough anyway. If you want a top 2 D-man in the league, you're talking about your best young players in the organization, not the next tier down that you wouldn't mind losing. That's 2 of our best prospects, and our first rounder from 2025. Okay, look, I would probably say that Kindel has to be included in there. I'm not too sure if that is really how it goes down. Absolutely not too pricey. That's a lot, yada yada yada. Another reply goes out there and says, what would the Pens have to give up? 87, yeah, no, they're not going to give up Crosby, man. That doesn't really work out that way. Ben Kindel, I think, is the guy that I really, really want to see in Vancouver should a deal go down. You add yourselves also some other commentary from folks around the Penguins beat. Jay Fresh, who, of course, is a noted Penguins fan, went out there and said, wait a minute, what? There's no way we have the pieces to make a Quinn Hughes deal. Bro thinks he's on the team. Jay Fresh replies, oh, I'm the GM. Pretty good face reveal there, eh, Kyle? The entire farm and all the draft picks, Novak, Poulin, 2026 first, 2027 second round pick. What I honestly do think here is that, firstly, if Ben Kindel were to be included, I'd say that it increases the chances a lot. There's a really good prospect out of Ben Kindel. And plus, he is from, where is he from? Calgary? Yeah, he's played for the Calgary Hitmen. Also, he's from Coquitlam, BC. So he is a hometown guy. That would be such a good pickup for Vancouver if they were able to get him. But part of me does believe that this could be because of the conversations about Philadelphia. Like, I'm just thinking Elliotte Friedman saying, all right, young team, a lot of draft picks, the most recent draft. They really want to get younger. And if they really want to step in and fool the Philadelphia Flyers' plans, they could make this Quinn Hughes thing work out. They could just throw on as many draft picks and as many prospects as needed to make it actually work for the Vancouver Canucks. And we recognize that Vancouver and the management over here, they seem to really like a lot of the guys that the Pittsburgh Penguins have in their organization, just considering the history there. But hey, if you're talking about both of these 2 guys, talk about Zanin and Kindel, and then add on some picks and maybe a roster player, I'd like that a lot. Personally speaking, getting a nice, young, top-tier centerman out of the WHL to go alongside of Braden Coots, that sounds like a really good deal in my mind. With that in mind, we have to talk about Braden Coots a little bit more in today's show. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. How do you feel about Elliotte Friedman linking Quinn Hughes to the Pittsburgh Penguins? And do they have the assets to actually pull this off? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.